Sometimes there's a single verse in Scripture that it changes everything. It can reframe how you see the world. And today, we're going to dive into one of those. It's a verse that promises this monumental shift from a totally closed-off sanctuary to a wide-open heaven. It all comes from one stunning, world-altering vision.
Just let that sink in for a second. Imagine hearing this for the first time. The idea that this deep, profound connection to God, the very source of all truth, isn't some secret locked away for a select few, but that the doors have been thrown wide open for everyone. That's not just a nice thought. That is an absolutely radical, revolutionary promise.
So, a promise that big, an idea that massive, where does it come from? It has to be anchored somewhere powerful in Scripture, right? So let's go find it. Let's pinpoint the exact verse that makes this incredible claim.
And here it is, Revelation chapter 15, verse 5. The Apostle John, deep in this vision, sees something that would have been completely unthinkable under the old system. He says the temple in heaven was opened. Now, to really grasp why this is such a game changer, we have to rewind a bit and understand the context that makes this vision so shocking.
Yet to really feel the weight of what an open temple means, we first have to understand the old earthly one, which was, by its very design, very, very much closed. So, in the Old Testament, you had the tabernacle. This was the dwelling place of God's presence on earth. Inside, it held the Ark of the Covenant, God's testimony. But this holy, sacred place was separated from all the people by this thick, heavy veil. Access was incredibly restricted. Only the high priest could go in, and even he could only do it once a year. It was this powerful, unmissable symbol of separation.
And when you put the two side by side, the contrast it's just absolutely stark. What was once hidden behind a thick, impenetrable veil is now permanently open. What was this rare, once-a-year event for just one person has become constant, moment-by-moment access for everyone. And what was reserved for only the high priest is now available to every single person who believes. This isn't some minor adjustment, folks. This is a complete 180-degree reversal of how humanity relates to God.
So, what happened? What caused this massive shift? Well, the Gospels give us this incredible physical picture of the spiritual reality. At the very moment of Jesus' death on the cross, that massive veil in the earthly temple was torn in two, and not from the bottom up, as a person would do it, but from top to bottom. This wasn't a random earthquake. It was a sign from heaven, symbolizing that the barrier between God and humanity had been removed once and for all.
That physical tearing of the veil was this incredible sign of a much deeper spiritual truth. And what I find so amazing is how the specific language used back in Revelation confirms this very idea, right down to the original Greek words. So let's put this vision under a linguistic microscope for a minute.
Okay, the first key word is enoike. It simply means was opened. But the grammar here is so important. This reveals something crucial. It's in the passive voice, was opened, which tells us the temple didn't just open itself, and certainly no human could force it open. It was opened for us by a divine act. This access we're talking about is a gift, not something we could ever achieve on our own. But it doesn't stop there. Let's keep deconstructing this phrase, because you see, the verse doesn't just say something was opened. It's incredibly specific about what was opened, and every single word here adds another layer of meaning.
The word for temple here is naos. Now, this doesn't just mean the general temple grounds or the building itself. It specifically refers to the inner sanctuary, the Holy of Holies, the most sacred part where the direct presence of God dwelt. So what was open wasn't just the front door. It was access to the very heart of God's home.
And what kind of temple is it? The text calls it the tabernacle of the testimony. This phrase is so specific. It directly links back to the Old Testament tabernacle that held the Ark of the Covenant. And what was the Ark? It was the physical evidence, the testimony of God's law and His promises. And now, John's vision shows us that the heavenly source of all that ultimate truth is no longer hidden away. It's out in the open for all to see.
Okay, so we've journeyed back through history. We've peeked into the original Greek, and this stuff is absolutely fascinating. But it's not just an ancient history or a grammar lesson. The truly stunning part is what this vision of an open temple means for us, right here, right now. This is where it gets incredibly personal. The book of Hebrews connects all these dots for us so powerfully. It says that because of Jesus, we can have boldness, not fear, not hesitation, but real confidence to enter the holiest place. It describes a new and living way that was opened for us through that very veil, which the writer then says is a symbol of Jesus himself. It's just an incredible piece of theology laying it all out for us.
So you see, this isn't just a fact to learn. It's an invitation to be accepted, and you can think of it as a three-part invitation. First, we're invited to have boldness, to actually approach God without the fear and shame that the old system naturally created. That barrier is gone. Second, we're invited to enter through Jesus, to understand this access isn't something we earned, but a gift that he purchased for us. And third, we're invited to walk in this new and living way, not some old, dead ritual, but a vibrant, life-giving, real relationship.
So all of this leaves us with one profound, lingering thought. For centuries, the way into God's direct presence was closed, sealed off, restricted. But now, the vision of Revelation and the entire message of the New Testament declare that the true temple in heaven is wide open. Access has been granted. The question for us is no longer if we can enter. The only question left is, what does it truly mean for you, for me, to walk through that open door? The invitation has been sent. The door is standing open. Will you step inside?